morning, good evening. Welcome to this week's live craft and chat where we craft and chat live. Now, I could go on and start talking about some other stuff, but why don't we just address, the new studio changes. They're not finished. It's pretty obvious. They're not finished. I ran out of shelves is what happened. So I'm going to IKEA this afternoon and I'm going to put 2 more shelves in and then I can start loading all the stuff in. So I ran around this morning and quickly threw some lights in just so, the colourful lights is kind of one of the things I love about all this stuff. It's made me realise I definitely will need some colourful lights for the next shelf as well. So I do have more lights. I do have more lights available, which is super good. So now I'm like considering, do I just buy more of the same lights that I've got and get little clamps and blah, 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 because the light on that side I've literally gaff taped onto the edge. Let me just, can you see it? Oh look, that little tiny black thing under the light, that's a bit of gaff tape. That's it. Use what you've got. Use what you've got. The other thing is I'm not quite, scented, but the other thing is I don't really want to be scented because this is my favorite. Hang on, go this way, Chantal. These are all my favorite things. So I want you to be able to see them. So, I've got my Lego flowers and some bits are just in there because I haven't got the other shelf yet. So, and they'll all get moved around. There's a lot more stuff to come in, but the plan is over here, right where you can see, on the 2 shelves that I plan to put in there is where I'm going to store my works in progress. So they're right in front of my face and in front of your face too. So, that's the plan on that side. And on this side, I've got some more, bits and bobs, so baskets of yarn and tools and things like that, and so they'll get filled up as well, and then I can start loading in the empty baskets. So far not all the baskets down here have got stuff in them, but the stuff that was in the chest of drawers, like so all the sound gear, all the extra lights, all that sort of stuff, that's all in baskets over here. So that's sort of this side. And then this side here, there's a few bits and bobs, but they're mostly empty. So I plan on putting some yarn and things like that are just kind of strewn around and stuffed into bags and things. So, and some of the things that I've got on display over here that I can see, if there's room, I'll bring them over here. So that's the state of the nation. So let's jump in and look at some comments. So Kelly's saying hello to everybody. I did put my comments on this screen here, and you know what? I can't read it. Maybe it's dusty, and so that's what's making it blurry. Or maybe it's just a bit too far away from my little old lady eyes. Oh, I should not be able to read that better without my glasses. I actually can. That's hilarious. Good morning, Leanne. So Chantel and the live typers, I'm assuming you mean live typers in the chat today. Great to see you, Leanne. Thanks so much. Loopy Knots has made it. It's so good to see you, Loopy Knots. Leanne's slow cooking. I missed a comment here. Good morning from Josephine. You're a nice distraction while I tidy the yarn room. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. The lights are pretty. Thank you. Thank you. Kelly says, yay, the new setup's looking good, even if it is a work in progress. It's definitely a work in progress. I'd kind of hoped to have, because I sort of grabbed a whole pile of stuff and shoved it out of the room. And other than the drawers and the shelf, because, there was that small shelf there, other than those 2 things, I was hoping to have everything else back in here by now. Most of it's back in. Not all of it. No, yeah, I need some more shelves. So today is the first Thursday of the month. So we have IKEA at IKEA Logan. So if you want to come along and come and sit and craft and hang out with real humans while we craft and eat, I don't know, whatever it is that you get from IKEA. I think I'm going meatballs tonight. And then we just sort of hang out and we craft and we chat. But on my way out, I'll be picking up some extra shelves. I'll be picking up some extra shelves. So I was thinking about getting an extra one Like, so I want to get one extra small one for in the middle here, and then 2 extra big ones on each side. So 5 more shelves. That's the plan. That's the plan. The new background wood. We were trying to work out how long it's been since I've had that brick background. When I took it off the wall, it was not in a good way, let me tell you. I've still got it, but it's very faded. It's very dusty feeling, like it's sort of disintegrating, which I'm sure wasn't great for me to breathe that in. But anyway, I breathed it in. But I think that has been up on the wall. It's got to be at least 5 years, maybe longer, because that was in the shack out the front, and the shack went during COVID. So yeah, it's been a long time. I got it because the shack was all grey, and I couldn't be creative. Like, it was just, and it was an icky grey. So the lights weren't even doing nice things on the grey. Like, this is a blue wall behind me, and those lights actually look really nice on that blue wall. So I'm really happy about that. I was a bit nervous about having the bare wall. But as I'm filling the shelves with stuff, it's less and less bare wall. So I'm much better with the whole thing. Bye-bye brick wall. Yeah, absolutely. Loopy says, it's looking good. Thank you. Thank you. Angela is hanging out here going to hang out for a bit tonight. So happy to see everyone. It's good to have you in here, Angela. Dolores says, good morning. It's looking good. Thank you. Thank you. It's looking good so far. Absolutely. I'm chuffed with how it's coming along. Good morning, Bambi. Great to see you in the chat. I had it in the shack, and so I got it pretty soon after. I'll have to check when I got the shack. I definitely made a YouTube video when the shack got delivered, so I can check when that was. Fresh start for a fresh year. Let me just double check, because I'm just going to jump into YouTube. Hopefully nothing autoplays. Oh, of course it did. Of course it did. Back into YouTube. Go home. Would like to go to Fiberific. See, I should have checked this before. I knew it was going to bug me. Let's go to my channel. View the channel. Videos. And it was some time ago. So I posted the video I would say it came towards the end of 2019. So I posted the video in 2020, and it was like a shack, like an update of what was going on. Yeah. But it doesn't actually tell me the exact date I posted. Not here anyway. If I go into the other end of it, it will tell me. But yeah, I'm guessing I posted the video at the beginning of 2020, and I think I got the shack at end of 2019. So yeah. But yeah. Yeah, by the brick wall. Where am I? I think I've said good morning, Dolores. It's looking good. Yes. I think I've gone through some of these already. Yes, I have. I did have it. Yes. All right. Now, fresh start for a fresh year. All right. I'm all caught up. All right. So yeah, so as I'm sort of putting things in here, I'm sort of deciding, do I need the little cups on the side? I probably don't, or at least not these two. You know, there's lots of things. I mean, they can hang off the side over there, and they can be little things like for putting pens in. So, you know, stuff and things. Now, something that I've done, and I sort of set it up yesterday, is I've been missing when people do the buy me a coffee, and I don't like that I missed it. So I sat down with Doug last night and set it up so that now the buy me a coffees will appear in the chat that I see. So the chat where I sort of look at your comments here and I bring them on screen, it'll come up as one of those chat messages, so I can bring it on screen like this message here from Leanne. And so if anyone wants to give that a test and be the first person to give that a run to make sure I set it up properly. We did some testing. It seemed to work. You know, the computer got closed in the meantime. So hopefully, it's all working. So we will see. We will see. Let me go back here. Now, I do have beverages. I have a very big coffee. This is a double shot of espresso with, like, I even put hot milk in it to just, so we've got hot coffee goodness, the whole chat. Oh, very important addition that we have today down the bottom here. We have a Mr. Lulu. He's in the house. He had a haircut yesterday. So he is looking dapper. He's looking super cute. How's that angle? Is that all right? Let me just... Oh, whoops. That was too much. There we go. That's what we wanted. So he's looking super cute, super adorable. We've got this massive dog crate, right, that we keep all his toys in. So it's a big fabric one with the zip-up sides and stuff. And when we don't need to actually crate him, which is most of the time because he's very good on the lead, we actually just keep it filled with all his dog toys, right? And it's filled, right? This massive crate is just jam-packed filled with... Louis was looking for something, and he has pulled out nearly every toy out of the crate. My living room looks like a daycare center. Because, like, with Snowy, she would get a toy and then destroy the toy. So there was no toy storage. There might be one bone, like one plastic bone around. She was not into balls. Louis, however, is not a toy destroyer. Well, he chews up the plastic toys, but that you know, you have to sort of decide, yeah, it's time for that to go, and it gets very sad. But he's pretty good with you know, all his toys. So his toys survive, and we very cute with them. So we keep buying him new ones. Anyway, we're tragic and it's awful, but we buy toys for the dog. But he gets very, like, I want this particular toy. And a couple of years ago, I bought both the cats, like these little tiny sort of plastic mice with these little sort of like fake furry bodies with their little tails and their whiskers. Well, the second they got unwrapped at Christmas, Louis was like, well, they're mine, and just took them. And now he carries them around the house. And so there's like a little thing hanging out of his mouth because he's carrying his mouse around the house. Anyway, apparently one of those had fallen right to the bottom, so he had to empty the entire toy crate out to get one out. So, Angela says, just drinking flat water tonight, finishing up scarves for me and my high school besties for the 40th anniversary of Pretty in Pink. Oh, that sounds so fun. That sounds so fun. Knitspin Girl says there's no such thing as too many dog toys. We're sort of like, you know, keep it to the crate, because the crate is, well, it's not this big. It's like this long, and it's like this, like easily, I don't know. I'm going to have to measure it, but I would say it's massive. And we do try to keep the toys to that crate or what can fit sitting on top of it. And so, you know, there's a lot of toys. But, like, he just comes and hangs out here for a snort. Hello, Lulu. No, nothing. We got nothing. Now, one thing I wanted to talk about is... when I was going through all the projects, I was talking about how I found that there was that purple top made of cotton. And I worked out by reading the notes, and I think I've mentioned this already, that I'd planned to make a top for my mum, but then she lost a pile of weight and it was going to be way too big, so I stopped working on it. And it's in like this gorgeous purple cotton. And I was going to make myself a purple top out of it and think of it as like my mum's purple, like Nana's purple top. But the more I look at it, the more I think I actually want to make like a shawl out of it, because then I can have a Nana hug whenever I feel like it. And while I never actually gifted it to her, she approved of the color and she'd approved of the pattern. And so I think that's what I'm going to do with that. I've been sort of like starting things and undoing them and not happy with it, and then realize, no, what I really want to do is just make like a large sort of rectangular shawl, or like, you know, hug. So, but not with sleeves, not one of those ones with sleeves, but that's what I'm going to do with that. But I haven't actually done much crafting this week because work has been full on, which is awesome, and I'm super happy about that. But also this thing, doing all this, it's just been like hard on my body putting it all together, and like yesterday it was so funny, like my feet were so swollen, and like I was out with lunch with a friend and I was just like, oh my gosh, look at my stupid feet, and she was just like, wow, I don't think I've ever seen them that bad. But yeah, it was just like all the building and just dragging everything and not stopping when I should have, which is the thing my husband pointed out, is going, you wouldn't be in any of this pain if A, you had have asked for help, or B, you had have stopped when your body told you to stop. I'm like, but I want to get it finished. And it's like, well, now you're going to go super slow because you're sore. And I was like, yeah, yes, I am. But I'm also got to pick up some extra shelves, so I'll do that today. Let's have a look here. Russell's in the house, exhausted. Spent all day filming for a new video, drone, cameras on gimbals, Insta360, 2 hours so far downloading and organizing data. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Let's have a look here. That's crafting, surely figuring out how, I mean, it is technically, isn't it? Well, it's creating for sure. Hey, look at this. Somebody tested it out. Somebody bought a coffee. We better do a test start. Thank you, whoever that was. I really, really appreciate it. And I love now that I can just bring it onto screen and it's in the chat that I see. It won't be in the chat you see. And I don't miss it now, which I just love. I just absolutely love. If I didn't ignore my body aches, I'd get nothing done. See, I feel the same way, Loopy Knots. It's definitely the same, because sometimes, like, I've actually had a really good run this year where everything's been just pretty tickety-boo. So once I got over being sick before Christmas, and that took forever to get over, but that was like a different thing. My actual physical body, aside from chest and lungs and head, was mostly okay, you know. And I was watching a Instagram reel or a TikTok, I don't know what it was. It was one of those short form things, and it was basically like, hey, just so you know, the normal amount of pain is 0. And I'm just like, no, it's not. No, it's not. That's not right. And then I realized, hang on a second, I don't have any pain right now. Well, that's pretty cool. And then I went and did this. So basically, you know, emptied all the stuff, dragged it all out of the room, went to IKEA with Abby. Abby helped me load it all into the car and everything, and then we got it all out here and then started building and all that sort of stuff. Angela also testing out the new thing, bought a coffee. Enjoy your cuppa. Thank you, Angela. I'm actually going to have a sip of this coffee. This is so much better. I missed 2 in a stream on a Monday stream, and I missed 2, and I felt awful because I just, like, you guys probably don't realize how much I appreciate those sort of cuppas and stuff. And when I miss them, I feel like you guys might think I'm ungrateful for them. And it was just purely because I missed them. And so now I'm not going to miss them. So I'm really happy about that. Sarah Spicer, great to see you. Great to see you. Okay. Now, I haven't actually done any. Let's have a look here. Kelly says, normal amount of pain is 0. I can't imagine any woman saying that. Yeah, I know. It was, you know, I don't even know how to, but yeah, apparently. Hello, not ye old Susanna. How you going? Russell says, maybe you're more comfortable in a little pain. There are those that swear by no pain, no gain. Look, I'm okay. Like just, if if I'm having like a nice workout and I'm like lifting some weights and I'm feel like I'm actually doing something to earn a little bit of pain, I'm okay with that pain. The pain that frustrates me is like, oh, I rolled over in bed and now my knee's dislocated. You know what I mean? Like they're different things. So I'm like, while this has been a little bit painful and my feet are unhappy with me and what have you, I'm so happy with what I'm getting out of it. And I actually feel like I'm earning that pain. Do you know what I mean? Like I have to earn my pain. I don't know. Anyway, let's just not dig into that. Let's have a look. If I'm in pain, I know if pain paid, I know a few people who'd be billionaires. I'd probably be a millionaire. I don't know. I don't know if I'd be a billionaire. Yeah, no lies detected. Exactly. If nothing hurt, I'd probably assume I was dead. Something always hurts. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Absolutely. Russell says, yeah, I can see where you might be a problem dislocating things, rolling over in bed. Yeah. Like you wake up, your alarm goes off, you roll over to turn the alarm off. And as you're reaching out, you're like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Before my first knee surgery, that happened a lot. It was very bad. I live with pain. Sometimes my brain doesn't register it. Love those times. Yeah, like, because that's the thing, right? Like that whole, like, oh, I'm just in a normal amount of pain. It's just like, oh, it's like a hum in the background. Like, oh, yep. You just be, mindful of the things that trigger that because it's there. But yeah, yeah. And this is the thing, everybody is a little bit different, right? Like everybody handles different amounts of pain. Everybody handles different amounts of pain relievers. Like everybody is different. So yeah, it's like I fell asleep on the couch the other day. And just a little afternoon snooze in the heat and woke up and I must have had my leg on some weird angle because like it did its thing where it's not quite in anymore. And I had to sort of wait. So like I was laying on my side and it must have been too far forward and so it pulled down and so the knee dropped a bit. Anyway, it's fine now. But it took like a good hour of moving around for it to all sort of get back into spot. So yeah, sleeping in the wrong positions, that sucks. Francis, where's your late note? Come on. How are you going, by the way? Good to have you here. I imagine crafting in repetitive motion requires some pain management in itself. Now that's a thing. That's actually a really true thing, especially if you only do one kind of craft. Now, luckily for me, I switch between crafts, so it does different actions and different movements. So I'm not just, I'm like looking for a hook. Where's a hook? I'm literally not just doing this all day because that could be very bad. But because I'm also knitting, it actually moves things around. So, like different things will move and like the wrists will move and the elbows will move. And it's just like little movements, like the kind of knitting and stuff I do. It's quite little movements, but it's different. It's a different action than the crochet. So for me, being able to alternate makes a huge difference. And also, messing around and tweaking up different like knitting styles and stuff like that does the same thing. Different muscles are used, different, hand things. Because like if you just knit the same way all the time, your hands could get frozen in this sort of like position. Whereas because I knit in so many different ways, if like my finger is getting sore from purling, say, like if there's, like you feel stuff happening, you can change to a non-finger bending purl, so things like that. So yeah, lots and lots of different things. Francis says, I'm great. I just got told I need a new hip, talking about pain. Oh my gosh, that's a big one. That's a really big one. That's massive. Knit Spin Girl says, I can't knit socks at the moment. I overdid it last year. Arm tendons are really unhappy with me. Now, I highly recommend you guys going and finding that. I know there's videos out there, and I want to get my friend Jen to make a video specifically for us. But when we were at retreat last year, my friend Jen Homewood, she is I can't remember her exact title. Anyway, she does something exercise physiology sort of stuff. I don't think she's an exercise physiologist as such, but anyway. So she ran us through so she ran us through like all these like different stretches and different things that we can be doing, and it was like the whole body. So we stood up and we were, you know, it wasn't just like hands and stuff. It was hands, lots of different sort of motions for your hands to make sure that you're giving everything all the way up to your shoulders, a good stretch, including your shoulders, down through your back into your hips, because sitting long periods of time actually causes pain and damage as well. So make sure you're going and finding these videos on just like, and they're gentle exercises. They shouldn't hurt, and they're very gentle exercises. And so, you know, just little different and like, you know, bringing your hand back and, you know, just to the point, like not trying to bend it all the way back, but just till you feel it, sort of thing. Definitely thing. Russell says, backdrop is interesting, sort of a warehouse look. Backdrop's not finished, Russell. I ran out of shelves. So I want to have 2 more shelves, and then there's going to be some more yarny stuff and craft bags and all that sort of stuff. But I'm going to IKEA tonight. I was tossing up whether or not just to cover it and ignore it and like not show you today. But then I didn't want to do that. You know, just stick a sheet up there, throw a doona, whatever, cover it. But no, so it's coming along, but it's still very much evolving. So, like I hadn't planned to do like the 3 little shelves of baskets, but then I realized, hey, where am I going to put the stuff that was in those drawers? Because I need that stuff. That's all like my extra cables, my extra lights, my, you know, extra microphones, all that sort of stuff. So, they'll be open. It'll be open. It'll be like, you know, remember how I had the shelf on the side? It'll be sort of like that, but larger scale. But no, they'll be open. But sort of, there'll be a shelf, like, see how there's this shelf, that shelf there? There'll be another one there directly on top of that, and then these 2 will be filled sort of like this sort of stuff with display things. Well, those ones on that side will be project bags. It's going to, like I was saying at the start, it's going to be the projects are in my face and they're in your face too, right there. And then on this side, I'm going to make it sort of more, you know, fun stuff. But anyway, that's the plan for now. I mean, it could totally change. I was looking at the option of putting the doors on, but it sort of meant that I had to get the deeper set of shelves, and I've only gotten the narrow set. So these ones are only they're 30 centimeters, so about 12 inches. And if I wanted the doors, it's like a full kit. And so it would mean that I would have to get the 50 centimeters, so take up more of my floor space here, which I didn't want to do. So, but I definitely wanted to go up because I felt like there was such a waste of space in like just having like, because the other shelf sort of finished about there and just had some stuff on it. But other than the brick wall imagery, there was nothing there. And it just like in a house that has got really limited storage, wasting a whole wall was silly. Angela says, I struggle occasionally with some pain in my left wrist when I crochet too much. I shattered it in 2007. Crochet did help me get movement back in my wrist after that injury. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. The flowers behind your head are beautiful. I love them. Yeah, I really do. Now there's a whole other shelf with my big vases directly above it that I can see. And I think I'm going to move those down to be on like, you know, one, because there's 2 sort of vases of them, one on each side, and use that shelf up there for something else. But I don't know yet. I don't know yet. Russell says maybe just more Legos on the upper shelves. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I definitely want to have room for more Lego flowers because I love the Lego flowers and they are so fun to build. But yeah, I don't know yet. I don't know yet. All my Lego flowers that I have are completed and in there. So that doesn't mean there won't be more Lego flowers because I really do love them. And I love that I can just squirt them with like spray air and they're dusted and they're not dying and they don't lose their color and they don't drop their leaves. Well, they do drop their leaves actually. Look at this. Where is that little stinker? One of them dropped its leaf. And now I'm going to work out which one. I think it was the chrysanthemums. I think it was the chrysanthemums. But yeah. So I don't know. They two drop their leaves. Stinkers. So yeah, it's just one of those things. It's one of those things. Oh, I'm gonna put that over there. Move that there. Francis says, I just went this morning and got more Lego flowers. What did you get? You can't just drop more Lego flowers and not tell us which ones you got. Abby's recently just gotten the big bunch of tulip stems that came out this year, and also another one in a box that isn't open yet. So I think it's a cactus of some description. I should probably do some craft while we wait for Frances to tell us what flowers she got. Now, where am I up to? Oh, I know where I'm up to. I think I'm up to the sleeve, separating the sleeves on my pink cotton top. Pink cotton top. There we go. Oh, where's that? Turn off that autofocus. I thought I turned that off. Preset focus. Stinker. There we go. I thought I was so organized this morning. I'm like, I'm happy enough with the colors coming through. And then I forgot to turn off the autofocus like a noob. Now that I've got software that I can turn it off on, because the last few weeks I haven't been able to turn it off because Logitech only updated, they didn't let me know. There was software that I'd been using for a long time to control the camera, and that no longer opened. And rather than let everyone know that anyone who was using that one for their software needed to move on to this other software, they said, hey, we've updated this other software. And I'm thinking, that's cool. And it took me a little bit. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to download it. I'm just going to see if it'll do what I want it to do. I can always uninstall it if it's awful. Come over here. There we go. Knitspin Girl says, I remember visiting my stepmom and she had some beautiful real roses in a vase on the table and we were chatting. And all of a sudden there was a flump and all of the petals fell off at once. Oh my gosh. Actually, I was very lucky. Abby brought me home a bunch of yellow roses yesterday, which are my favorite flowers. And so they're on the bench in the kitchen. I need to give them a zhuzh up. You got the petite sunny bouquet plus daisies, lavender and sunflowers. That sounds beautiful. That sounds very nice. Now, I have been charging up my iPad so I can have the pattern of what I'm doing. Do you have enough charge? Yes, you do. Let me open up the thing. Where's Knit Companion? Why aren't you right at the front? Grr. KN Knit Companion. All right. Knit Companion. The other thing before we go too far down this rabbit hole, move that to the side is I finished my hat. Oh, hello hair. I'll get that off. One hat completed with a pretty little plait. I'm gonna say this. I bought the pattern not to have an amazing pattern, but to support a really good cause, right? What I will say is if you're going to design something like with a tassel, you need to explain how you attach the tassel, not just go, and now add a tassel, because that was fun, to say the least. Total fun. Holly's here. Hello. Russell says, I grow real roses and pick them every Sunday for a group that comes over and plays cards. I used to grow real roses myself, and then my chickens destroyed all my roses and I was really upset. So I didn't buy any more and replant them, and now we have weed gardens. There are lots of gardens full of weeds because the things that survived were the birds of paradise, the agave, which are actually going really well now, and the frangipanis are fine, the fruit trees are fine, but pretty much everything else is gone. I can't grow roses here. I've tried, but we just don't have a good climate. It's too humid in the summer. You know, I grow roses here, and I'm pretty humid up here in Brisbane. Yeah. So will mine be the next one you make? No. How did I attach it? I found a YouTube video, and the lady was talking about how she attached it, but I actually had to then go in, and luckily for me, because I'd sort of finished everything off, but I hadn't trimmed the tails, and luckily I hadn't, because I had to undo the you know, loosen off, not undo it, but loosen off the center, and use the tail that tightens the center through the middle of the plait, and sort of weave it around again that way and sort of catch it on as best as possible. So yeah. Knitspin Girl says, I made one of those too. Mine turned out quite small. I think mine's okay. I did make mine extra long. I did add some extra length into mine. So instead of their recommended, what do they recommend? 6 inches of ribbing? Do I have a tape measure handy? The answer is no. Oh, wait a second. I do. Okay. So they recommended 6 inches of ribbing, and I think I went for 7. So yeah, I've got nearly 7. But then I also added sort of 4 or 5 rows of stockinette before I started doing the decreases as well. So I sort of added little bits and bobs just because I'd seen a lot of people's looked just a little bit small. Hang on. I shall model the hat, but I don't like hats when I've got my hair up. There we go. So there we go. So there's my hat. There's my little tassel. We'll go big screen. There we go. So, you know, it's not perfect, but it's very comfortable and it's not too tight. I did the DK 132 stitches, added a little bit of the extra length. Everything's in my Ravelry notes, so that's it. So oh dear. All right, get the hair back up. Okay. But yeah, I like it. I think it's a great hat. And you know, good cause. So that's more important. With that tassel, oh, hang on. I just bought the yarn to make 2 of those hats, and I went to the Fibre Festival last week. Awesome. I made one of those too. Mine turned out small. I'd rather eat chickens and look at the roses versus eating the roses and looking at the chickens. Yeah, we kind of made the decision once all those chickens went, we weren't going to get chickens again. And now Abby's like, I want chickens. It looks attached really well. It is attached really well, I think. It was stabbed through a lot. I just threaded the yarn for the tassels through the top of the hat before I plaited it. See, I didn't understand like how, because that's what they said to do, like thread the yarn through, but I didn't understand the instructions because I had a pile of yarn. What am I threading it through? So, you know, I don't know. Maybe my brain was just not being friendly. It's great. I love it. Yep, me too. Me too. Russell says with that tassel it could be a knitter's graduation cap. Yeah, it's based off an old Norwegian design, which is why it's the shape that it is, with the shaping that it's got, and the tassel. It's like 1940s Norway. So yeah. Looks nice and snuggly. It is. It is. Does it get cold enough for beanies up there? Look, it depends on who you are. My brother would say yes. Absolutely, it does. He wears beanies all the time. If you're going out in a boat, yes, definitely take a beanie. I think for the most part, I don't need one. But then I also go to places that do need beanies. So I've got a couple. I don't have a ton, but I have a couple. As I said, I wasn't making it to make a cool hat. I was making it to support a cool cause. Game Widows got a late note in. Good work, Game Widows. It's a great beanie. I think so too. I think it's like, I was originally like, I'm never going to wear that. It's not, I don't like the shaping. But now that I've put it on a couple of times, I actually really like the shaping. Alrighty. Now I'm not 100% certain where I'm up to here. For some reason I thought I was at the end of the ball of yarn, which is why I stopped. But obviously I'm not. So I'm just going to have to check the pattern and work out where I'm at, because I think, if I recall, I think I'm up to splitting for the sleeves, and I think I'm just double checking my notes here. Yeah, I think I've done it, and I think all I was doing next was just double checking I had the right full number of stitches, because I have rejigged where they are a little bit. And what I did was increase the number in the sleeves, but not in the front and the back. But I've got a feeling that's created a weird line, but it's going to be under my arm anyway. No one's going to see it except for me. Game Winner says, I'm determined to put a dent in combing the last of that fin fleece. Okay. True that. Travel. Yep, absolutely. Sarah says, you inspired me to have another go at an Aaron and Carlos pearl ribbing cha-cha-cha. And I brought the pattern and cast on 132 stitches in DK. And I don't have enough red. So for the red hat. I've seen some people just making the pattern, but just in red and something else. Like, a lot of the Canadians are doing a lot of red and white with, like, I saw a beautiful one where they've added in the maple leaf on it, and I just think super cute. But you don't have to do it in all red. Yeah. I did the 108 stitch size because I thought that was for the DK yarn. If I make it again, I'll do the larger stitch. Yeah, no, the DK was the 132, I thought. And then the 108 was the... No, I might have it around the wrong way. I made the 132. That's all I can tell you. And I'm happy with it. I don't know why I made the 132, but that's what I did, all right? Francis says, I'm wondering if any of this group are going to the Marjagraph camp in May. Is that the one in Melbourne, in Sydney, sorry, or the one in New Zealand? I'm not. I was seriously contemplating it, but I'm not this year. But I think I'm going to try and do it next year. But I think I want to do the New Zealand one. So I have to sort of plan that a bit better. Mine will be more like a Santa hat if I can figure it out. I don't normally go rogue. Neither do I, Sarah. I really don't. Brent, I want to, but the logistics say no. Yeah, I get that feeling. I totally understand that. All right, I'm going to have to sit here and count, because I don't know if I've got the right number of stitches before I do this split for sleeves. Usually in my patterns, if I'm up to a thing, I actually moved my slider to it. I didn't. So I have to count. So don't be cruel while I'm counting, all right? Where's my notepad, pen? So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 30, 2, 4, 6, 8, 40, 2, 4, 6, 8. I recall doing this. Exactly this, writing it down on a piece of paper and everything. Let me just see if I've already got it in notes in my book somewhere. Nope. Okay, so I'm to the first marker. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 30, 2, 4, 6, 8, 40, 2, 4, 6, 8, 50, 1, 2, 3. 53 for the sleeve. Leanne, I knew it was going to be you, Leanne. We all knew it was going to be you. We all did. Kelly says, remember, if you're enjoying, consider becoming a member. For the cost of a coffee per month, you can support our wonderful Chantel. Thank you. Thank you. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 30, 2, 4, 6, 8, 40, 2, 4, 6, 8, 50, 2, 4, 6, 8, 60, 2, 4, 6, 8, 70, 2, 4, 6, 8, 80, 2, 4, 6, 8, 90, 2, 4, 6, 96. That doesn't feel right. Oh, there we go. Nope, that is right. Okay, let me keep going. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 30, 2, 4, 6, 8, 40, 2, 4, 6, 8, 50, 1, 2, 3, 53. And then final 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 30. 2, 4, 6, 8, 40, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 48. So we've got matching front and front. So 48 and 48 is 96. And then matching sleeves. So that's... Now the numbers are off a little bit. For the size that I am making, I've got the numbers a little jumbled around. So I'm making the size 6 because my t-shirt one in the 4-ply cotton I made in the size 7, but this is the DK yarn. So and the cotton I used smaller needles. So the DK, I'm going DK yarn, larger needles, and the next size down. So that's where I'm at. Okay, let's have a look here. I still need to make a time with Janet. Yep, Janet will be able to answer all your questions. Not sure what that means. Oh, I see Bianca's comment now. Angela, have an awesome day. Thanks for jumping in. Bye, Angela. Everyone saying goodbye. Okay. So yeah, so I've basically got the size 6 with a few extra stitches in the sleeves. So I've put in an additional 4 stitches in each of the sleeves for the size 6. And then I'm probably, because, you know, it's smaller here, and then I want to A-line it out a little bit. So I'm going to increase, after I do the underarms, I'm going to sort of increase out the stitches in the body just a little bit. Not a lot, Just a little bit. Maybe, oh, Kelly's bringing the fire. Maybe I should put Leanne in a timeout. Mod Wars, Mod Wars, Mod Wars. Yeah, so that's the plan. So I've got that note there with those. So that's so size 6. Body and back. Plus 4 extra stitches. Is it 4? Yep. And sleeves. All right, I have notes. So if I'm like, oh, where am I up to? You guys can be like, didn't you write notes, Bianca? Sarah says, wow, I'm impressed with the speed of your progress. You finished your hat already. Well done. All that ribbing. It was a lot. Let's not beat around the bush. It was a lot. I think I did my final like ends woven in, all done and dusted on Sunday, I think. But I had all the knitting finished on Friday, and I was being like Friday night, but I was being really slack and didn't want to weave in the ends. So yeah. Friendly or what? I've run out of normal tea. I'm going through my random tea stash this morning. I'm sadly going to bin it. Tastes like bushfire and not in the good way. Oh, sometimes the tea just gets old. I've realized this as well. Francis says, I've been challenging myself with different spinning lately, just winding off some light fingering weight, feeling really pleased with the results. That's the thing, right? Like, we've got these skills, okay? So whether it's spinning, weaving, knitting, crocheting, whatever it is, and it's really easy for us to just stick with what we know, stick with our little comfort zone. And like for me, I'm not used to working in DK. I'm very much a 4-ply person. I like 4-ply because I wear 4-ply. It's either 4-ply or lace weight. But to actually go in and start making something in DK. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because Bendigo brought out a chainette yarn, and you all know I cannot resist a chainette yarn because it's nice and hollow, so I get the thickness without the density. So yeah. Let's have a look here. Now, Loopy Knot said, I still can't figure out that new way to purl. Do I have, I've got this right here. Let's, do I want to do it? I'm like, what else have I got? I don't have anything else knitted handy. All right, we're going to do it on this. We're going to zoom in. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to help that much. I highly recommend Arna and Carlos. There's 2 different videos where they teach it. Look for the one where Arna is teaching it, not Carlos. Carlos confused me. Sorry, Carlos. But then when Arna did one, I was like, oh, now what Carlos said made sense. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm actually just going to quickly knit 10 so that I can just know that I'm 10 off the marker. So everyone remember that I'm playing with 10 stitches after my marker. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so for the purling, feels weird, the yarn has to be at the back. Okay, so the yarn's not at the front, and you do have the yarn over your finger, and the needle needs to go behind the yarn into the spot on the stitch that you would normally do, right? Then you flip it back and scoop that up and flip it forward. Okay, I don't know if you could see that, but let's try again. So under the yarn, in through there, flip it back, scoop up the yarn, flip and twist. And I'm going to do it again. I'll see if I can get better for the camera for you. It's a bit awkward. So under the yarn, under the thread, under the half stitch. Twist, scoop it, twist forward again, and do that. Under the yarn, under there, twist it, scoop it, twist back forward again, and do that. And just remember to give it a bit of tension. You've done it. You did it. Did that help? And I learnt from Arna's video. So, oh, I see, look at that, automatically went to bring the yarn to the front. I still do it. And that's why I consciously try to keep putting my fingers there like differently for this one, because I've got to do everything differently. So in through the back, and that's how we do it. And then we just, and you get a little rhythm. But yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go and tink these back out because we're not purling. In through the front door, run around the back, peek through the... Well, I mean, is it still that? Let me just see if that rhyme still works, because that's normally the knitting rhyme, isn't it? So, oh, we're sort of more coming in through, we're coming out through the front door, dance around the back, peek out the window, twist back. No, that doesn't work. No, that's more for the knitting. That's more for our knitting. But, and isn't it like, I like the whole stab it and throttle it, and, you know, I think that's more relevant. Right, let me just, where am I up to here? So I've done 10 stitches, which I may or may not need to tink back. So I'm going to work out where I'm up to before I tink those back. Okay, next page, we are over here. We are making long sleeves. So we are dividing for the body and the sleeves. Okay. Work the next 1 1/4 rounds as follows. Well, we're knitting to the marker. I can do that. Let's have a look here. I've never spun so fine before. Now, one thing I will say, and when I was spinning, like when I was learning to spin, and I started like spinning like lofty, chunky, well, not chunky, but I was starting off spinning this really sort of lofty DK. It was very soft and it wasn't too tightly spun, and it was just beautiful to work up with. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, wish I could do that. Now I can only spin fine. What happens is the finer you go, the more your body is like, yeah, this is how we do it now. And going back to the thicker stuff is harder for a lot of people. Not everybody, but for a lot of people. Hang on a second. I've been experimenting with textured yarn. Why is that there? Go away. I've been experimenting with textured and art yarn, then weaving them up. It's been fun after my usual fine spins. Yeah, that's awesome. Francis says, I love the challenge of art yarn. Coils and bobbles look so awesome in weaving. Yes, they do. So loopy knots, got it. That's so good. I'm glad to see that. Yeah, I don't think that works that same way. I like Carlos's way of 3 steps, like Cha 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 video, where he said it's important to go out under the yarn to avoid a yarn over. Yeah, that was the thing. Like, so I was trying to do Carlos's way, and I couldn't. It just didn't click for me. And then I saw that Arna had taught it, and so when I watched Arna's version, it made it so I understood Carlos's version. I was like, oh, that's why he's doing that. They just have different This is one of the amazing things about the internet, right? Different people teach different ways, and we all respond differently, right? Like, so you like the Carlos way, and it clicked for you. That didn't click for me, and I was so lucky that I was able to find someone else. Like, it just happened to be Arna, but so I could find someone else. And that's the thing, if you are struggling with a knitting technique or a crochet technique or something, don't give up. Go and find another teacher. Go and find another tutorial, another video on how to do it. How someone words the exact same technique could be so totally different, or just be that one little thing that makes you go, oh, of course. And this is just one of the things I just love. We've got access to this insane array of people who are just doing just phenomenal work, and we all learn and teach differently. I may know a skill, right? But if I'm at an event and someone's teaching that same skill, I'm going to go, if I've got time or the ability to, I'm going to go and sit in on that class, because they might teach it a different way. And what happens if I'm teaching a class and somebody I'm teaching it's not clicking with them, but I know this other person says this other thing, I can reword it, and that might be the difference for that person. So yeah, just I love that this, like, Sarah's here, it's just exactly the point. One way clicked for her, one way clicked for me. They're both right, and I love it. Bianca says, exactly, I've experienced that many times. I just couldn't get it from one video, but then the light bulb went off in a different one. Yep. And it's like, and sometimes you sit there and going, oh my gosh, it's so, of course. But yeah, I was struggling with a tubular cast on and watched so many different videos. It wasn't until one person described it slightly differently that it clicked. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it's just their voice that makes me try a different teacher. That is also true. I've unfortunately, I had a craftsy class from an exceptional, like the design was exceptional, that as a designer, exceptional. As the instructor of this particular class, not great. Just so not great. Yeah, we need to find our teacher who resonates with us. And it, it could be a different teacher for each different skill as well. Like that, a person might resonate for one particular thing, but maybe not something else. Yeah. Now I'm just oh, I'm sitting here trying to mouse around my iPad. Hang on a second. To the marker. Oh man, am I doing a hard round? I think I'm going to just knit to the marker, and then I'll probably have to pick something else up, because this is, I thought I would get to knit a whole round before I had to worry about anything. So knit to the marker. So that's, I'm on a sleeve. Bring, slip one stitch. I'm sorry guys, I'm going to try and work through this. Just give me 1 second. Okay, then I need to put things on waste yarn. Hang on a second. I'm not using waste yarn. I'm using these dudes. Got a couple. Is that the thick green, or is that that's a thin green? Oh, I don't even know what I'm doing. Let's go with, that's a sleeve. So let's start with that one. Hello, DPNs. I could use a DPN right now. Are you a DPN? Nope. Which ones? That must be the DPNs. I need to put some sort of markings on these, because the DPNs and the interchangeables are very, very similar. Alrighty, I don't need anything too thick. I just let them do the job. Hang on a second. I'm missing some stuff in the chat. Their way is so good for one-by-one ribbing. Yeah, it really is. I find it easy to get a rhythm going, but I use throwing for other pearls. Yeah, I tend to use the other continental, like the finger bendy continental, mostly. But when I'm doing some one-by-one ribbing, or even two-by-two, like ribbing, the crochet crocodile stitch almost did me in. Do you know what? I skipped the crochet crocodile stitch. Yeah. I was just like, you know what? Do I really want it for anything? Nah. Alrighty. I feel like I'm doing something wrong here because I've got the yarn between these two stitches. All right. Now I've got to slip some stitches. So it's my sleeve. So it's my 53 stitches from the left hand needle onto the waist yarn. Okay. Just we're getting there. We're getting there. By chance, does anyone know a way to help an achy wrist to stop hurting more quickly? I use knitting to cope with stress, and well, I've not been kind to my wrist of late. Look, have you been doing wrist stretches? Is my question. And then also ice packs. Everyone goes for heat packs. I swear by ice packs. So, I mean, a heat pack might be nice if you're somewhere where it's cold, though. So, where I am is hot most of the time, so I avoid heat packs if I can. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! All right, let's see if we can. Can we fix this? I don't know if we can. I've just been pushing the stitches into nothing. The end fell off the thing. Oh my gosh. Let's see if I can get that on the end of the needle. It's like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? Oh man. Did I get everything? I think I got everything. Oh my god. Oh. You just tossed an ice pack in your brace. We'll see. Yeah, give it a see how it goes. Send love, Rose. Oh my God. Alrighty, let's have a look. Let's make sure we've got all the stitches. Yes, we have them all. But I've still got a few more I've got to grab here. So let's see if we can get those. Oh my goodness. Far out. Far out is what I'm just going to say to that. Oh. All right. Sleeve is in. Goodness me. All right. Now what am I doing next? I've got to cast on some stitches. Get rid of that DPN. I actually think that chunky needle that I don't use for just about anything. Oh, there we go. There's the camera. Chunky needle that I don't use just about for anything. That's next to a 4mm needle. Perfect. Keep that out. Get rid of the DPN. You failed. You failed me. I've moved this camera, so I'm just readjusting to where like everything is. So I just, there we go. So sorry if I was out of shot for any of that. Love your cables, but thank you. Look, I'll tell you one thing I've done is I've gone to Amazon and I just buy massive rolls of 2mm silicone tubing. And I think this 30-meter roll was 15 Australian dollars. This purple one is one of the proper barber cables. These green ones are some, I think Bianca picked them up from Temu. But I've just been buying the 2mm. If you want me to create an Amazon link, I will. I actually want to grab another color because like while I'm working with pink, I don't want pink. So I've got to use the purple ones, which are starting to, because it's silicone, it does start to get a bit brittle. But yeah, so yeah, I love these, absolutely love them. But let me know if you want a link, and I'll create one. I don't have one handy. Alrighty, so what am I going to do here? I need to cast on some stitches. Now I do tend to usually add lots more stitches underneath the sleeve as well. So I've only got 4 extras in the sleeve and it wants 3 more under. Is it just 3? Let me just... Oh no, that's not it. Oh yeah. It is. I want to add extra stitches under the sleeve, and as I want to open it out anyway, that's not going to be such a biggie, so I am going to add 5 stitches instead of 3 stitches. Because an extra 2 stitches in this is decent. Like 2 stitches wide here is an additional centimeter, like nearly an additional centimeter. Sorry, that's half an inch. Where am I? Yeah, it is. It's an additional centimeter. So 2 stitches. Let me just see if I can. So that'll give me an extra centimeter on each sleeve. It's actually just over. So it's 1 point. Let me just get this right on the spot here. It's 1.2 centimeters just for each 2 stitches because of the size of everything. So do you know what I could do? He's my friend today. Make sure I'm getting a big enough opening hole. Yeah. So what's that? Try again. I've got the right end. So go. So I want two measurements. So I want the sort of like right under my arm. Zero. So and then I need the rest of my arm because right under my arm is the small spot. And I want the big part of my arm. That is not the big part of my arm. The weight of the tape measure is making things happen. There we go. Got that on the table. That makes a big difference. That's the big part. Okay. Okay, so what I want to do is make sure that I'm just going to measure a little bit of gauge just to sort of get a bit more of an idea and average, not just 2 stitches, but just make sure I'm making my sleeves big enough because I've got a little bit of leeway. I don't have any more leeway for the actual armhole size because that's already done, but I've got leeway for the sort of, where's my arm? I've got leeway for this bit. So let's see where we're at. So if we're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Let me just do that count again. That's not on something flat there. I'm just like, don't lose any stitches while I do this. This one's probably easier. Because I wrote my measurements down in centimeters, I should probably count them in centimeters as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 and a half. Okay, so we're getting 18 and a half stitches per 10 centimeters. We've currently got 53 stitches. Calculator. Oops, 53 divided into 18.5 equals 28. That doesn't seem right. I think I've done it backwards. All right. So if I'm getting 18 and a half stitches every 10 centimeters to get to the 50 centimeters, I need to multiply that by 5. So let's start with that. So 18.5 times 5 equals 92 stitches. So I don't have anywhere near the length I need in my sleeves. Really? Like, really? Let me just look at how this is sitting here. Yeah. I mean, I can just measure that bit, right? That's supposed to go around my arm. What's under there? Oh, that. Okay. I don't know what I've done there. Jankied that right up. So let's just, I don't want to make it, I don't want to stretch it. Oh, you know that moment when you realize you've just totally destroyed it and it's absolutely not going to be wearable? I'm there. I'm at that point where I've just realized that should have checked the sleeves way earlier. Okay, so my math is correct. So that's only 30 centimeters, and I need 50. Oh. Am I doing this wrong? Like, like, let me know. Am I measuring this incorrectly for my sleeve? You're doing math and having an existential crisis. Yeah, pretty much. Um, gosh. Well, I mean, and that's what I was doing here. So there was a point where I stopped increasing in the body and started increasing in the sleeves only, like it was supposed to go both, but I just did the sleeve. So I got a little bit of extra there, like an extra 4 stitches straight up. And it does want me to add 3 more stitches under the arm, which will be another 1.5 centimeters. Yeah, so Knitspin Girl says, are you going to cast on additional stitches under the armhole? So it wants me to, like right now, it actually wants me to cast on some extra stitches. Like, so, you know, under the armhole stitches here. So, oh, I suppose I could add a few more, couldn't I? I could make that armhole bigger by adding, but that's a lot of stitches to add, right? No, the issue I have is I wasn't happy with the sleeves of the last top at all. It was the sleeves of what are my least favorite part of that other top. I'm just going to jump on Ravelry and just see if I did add any notes. That is not where I want that. Ravelry. My projects, let me go and look. I've got 2 other ranunculi that I have made. That's the thing. I'm like, oh yeah, this will be easy. I've done these before. Blah 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 blah. No. Uh, one of them, I made the size 8. That's the grey silk one that I'm going to be undoing. Let me look. Did I do the sleeves? I didn't take a photo of the sleeves on my arm. Good job, me. Well done. Well done, Chantel, being all nervous and sad about this sort of stuff. Okay, let's have a look here. No notes on the sleeves. Good gravy. Do you know what? I'm thinking I'm just going to actually go up another size. Because my grey silk one I did in a size 8. I mean, that was admittedly, I did use the 6mm needles, but I used like a really fine silk. And my cotton ranunculus, I used the size 6 and the size, I used the size 7 because I had other notes for that I saw, and then went down a bit. I just thought because I went down like needle size. So I'm just thinking, I'm just gonna go back, put these stitches back on, and just continue increasing out the sleeves and what have you until I'm up to another size. So I was doing the size 6 with the bigger sleeves. So I'm actually going to go up to the 8 with the bigger sleeves. And that will give me more sleeve diameter, give me a bit more everywhere. That's what I'm going to do, I think. Let me just check what you guys have suggested. Here we go. Is that coming up? Why aren't my comments coming up anymore? That's annoying. Oh, they are up. They're tiny. What did I do there? Can I make it bigger? I don't know what I did. Have they been coming up that tiny the whole time? Probably. All right, let me try again. Ah, if you add under the arm, it'll also increase the room in your chest as well as your arm. Yes. That's what I think. Hang on, I missed what Kelly says. Where does it sit on you at the moment? You could keep increasing the raglan and the sleeves only. Yeah, so I don't know actually because I didn't have. I think that's where I'd paused because I was out and I didn't have any stuff with me to throw it all on to test where it was up to. All right, where's the pink stuff? It's what oh no, I've got green in length. Are you a full piece? All right, let's get this off the knee. Let's get this off onto this stuff. What's this stuff called? And we'll see where I'm up to before I go any further. Alrighty. We'll leave the purple sleeve on its thing. I'll just double check that's loose enough. And then I will go and, because that's where I was up to. I hadn't worked out if it was fitting. Oh, Louis left us. There we go. Get that out of the way. And then you guys can help me decide. Because I could just keep increasing the arms, like keep doing the increase rounds to make it technically the bigger size, but ignore the body increasing, or add body increasing, or you know, whatever I need to do, but just be increasing the arm sections to get that, because I don't want to be adding 11 billion stitches under the arm if I haven't got more over the top of the arm. It makes things look weird. And I'm also narrow across like the actual body, and then have really big arms. I mean, like, you know, narrow for my size. Let's be clear. I'm just really watching this to make sure it's not like just falling on the ground like it did before. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. I mean, I don't want to make it too baggy across the body. Like, I want it to be, like, I want it to have positive ease. I don't want it to be crazy. You know what I mean? Like, it's still out there, sweetie. I haven't finished yet. I need more shelving, and then I can bring the on-air sign in. Abby had plans today, and then she accidentally slept in. All right. I have to remember that I'm going across the sides to the arms. Okay. Oh, you're back. Alrighty. Let's get that out of the way. And get that out of the way. That aside. So this is where it's at in the thing, right? Now let's go here. Let's pop it on. Just like, where's, that's the side, that's the back. Okay, so sleeves are there. So that's where I'm at. I think the back is a bit bunched up, but I think it's all right for the most part. What do you think? Let me know. I just definitely need more sleeve to be able to bring the sleeve around. I could probably use a little more, but not a lot. Like I could probably add in a couple more stitches into the body at the front, not at the back. But yeah. Let's have a look what's going on in the chat here. Let me see. Oops. I can't bring them on screen from that screen. I got to do it from this screen. It's looking pretty. I'd increase by 4 to 6 rows. Yes. Okay. Yep. Yep. Nice even stitches. Thank you. Thank you. Talia's here. Yeah, it's a bit like that. But yes, so I do think a couple more stitches, because, you know, I don't mind it being a little, like I don't want it to be like snug. I want it to be relaxed fit. Here we go, Kelly is jumping in. I would continue to increase the raglan, only increasing the sleeves, perhaps even adding increases into the sleeves themselves to get you the stitches that you need. Yeah, I definitely need a lot more stitches, don't I? So, because what have I got? I've got 53 right now. It wants to add another 3 underneath. So 56. And my math worked out that I actually needed closer to 93, 92.5. Which is just feels insanity. I'm like, my math has to be wrong, right? Like my sleeves aren't double the size of other people's sleeves. They're just not. But anyway, let's look here. I think increase for the sleeves. Yeah, look, I'm thinking increase for the sleeves only as well. Like, because there's a sleeve there, there's a sleeve there. I'm just sort of pulling it. I'm just sort of moving these to the middle of under my arm, and that doesn't feel tight across me at all. And like it's gonna wash and probably loosen because it's lace and stuff. So I really don't think the front body. I really don't think it needs more. I definitely think the sleeves. I wish I could grab the back so I can see where it's sitting. I wish I could swivel my head and do this exact same thing at the back. Let me have a look. So yeah, so it's sort of pulled up. Let me just. That's the. Yeah, it definitely needs a lot more to get it around for sure. All right, so I've got to go back, reload the sleeve back into the stitches, add the stitch markers back in. That's my task. the pattern says 3 stitches under each. Oh, actually, I'm going to go up a size. So let me look. So 8. Let me see what it says. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3. It's still 3. Even going up those 2 sizes, it's still going to be only 3 stitches added at the bottom. So I can comfortably add 5, no problems. That won't look too out of kilter. But yeah, Bianca says bring it tonight. Yeah, I will. I'll definitely bring it tonight. But yeah, like that's one sort of sleeve there. Let me see. Even stretched out, right? I'll get a half measurement here. Where's the tape measure? Oops. So that's the 2 sleeve stitches together. And it is kind of, you know, I would say that's a bit stretched out. Oops, centimeters. Yeah, we're getting to sort of 20-ish centimeters. So 40 in total. And I need apparently... Oh, no, if it's 40 in total and I need 50 to 60, that's not too bad. That is only, you know, so we've worked out that I get an extra centimeter and a bit for every 2 stitches. Let me just double check that. Yeah, 1.2 centimeters for each extra 2 stitches. So if we're going to add 1.2 centimeters under the bottom, no, what am I saying? We're going to add, say, 4 stitches, so 2.4 centimeters. And then we're going to add in another couple of rounds of increasing. So those will give us, we get to increase 2 stitches for each round. Yeah, 2 stitches for each round. So how many rounds do we need to get to 50? So if we're at, say, I mean, is it really 40 or is it? Probably not really 40. It's probably more like 38 or something. Let me just. 8, so 36. So plus the 2.4, so that's 38.4. I found that layer t-shirt that I love, and see where the sleeves join. I've got a t-shirt that I love, just really handy. Hang on a second, I'm going to go and grab it. Okay. So one of the reasons why I love this particular t-shirt is actually because of how the sleeves fit. So that's what I like. So let's pop that under. Fold it in half just so it doesn't take quite so much room on the table. Okay. Get that one tucked in, out of the way. All right. So that's the sleeve that I like. Now that's admittedly it's a set-in sleeve, but where's the purple is just what we've got so far on a sleeve. Let's utilize. So this one I find is a slightly long, but I like how it fits. Does that make any sense? I'm just running it down the raglan. So that's sort of how it's fitting. I mean, it's against a V-neck that's got set-in sleeves rather than a raglan, but that's where it's at. We need some extra centimeters. So yours. Alrighty. Yeah, I'll definitely bring it tonight. I do love the color. Yes, it's a good color. I think you need some body and arm increases, possibly bringing the back front together will let you know. Bringing the back and front together. Yeah, so I probably won't need any back increases, but possibly some front increases because I'm not a sphere. I found that having a t-shirt that I love to lay on top of the garment and the sleeves, where the sleeve joints to see if I have enough. Yeah, I don't look. I mean, this one's oversized and and big and comfy compared to my usual ones, which are a bit snug. So you know, it doesn't have to be quite this big, but somewhere in between here would be great. Also, this is knitted, you know, so it's knitted and it's lace, and so up here there'll at least be some stretch where all this lace is. Maybe not so much down here. Let's look here. Yes, I do that too, mainly for the length. Yeah, I am feeling a lot better. I really am. Yep. Are you happy where your t-shirt fits under your arms? Because it looks like you need a lot more raglan. Yeah, this is the thing. I am happy where this one fits under my arms. So I'm going to pop it back on and double check that, because that's quite a lot longer, isn't it? Like we've got the V-neck. I'm just double checking how I've got it laid out here. I mean, I do understand that they are different shirts, different constructions. But like, you know, if you put that there, it's probably easier if we put it there because we can see how. But yeah, like I do need some extra length. But see, the issue, the one, like I like this shirt because of the sleeves. The body is oversized. Like the body is quite like big and baggy compared to it. Like the sleeves fit well, the body's too big. Does that make any sense at all? Because like if we go like this, make some space. I suppose I do want this, let me just, can we zoom out? Zooming out. Alrighty. Did you like my zoom out song? I just made that up. Okay. It's a bit crunchy. I wasn't expecting to put it on live stream. Okay. See, body-wise, the body is already past the sleeves. That's what I mean. I don't think I need any extra in the body because the body is already wider than the T. Is it wider than? It's not quite wider than. It could use. You know what? It could use a couple more. That will actually really help. So what I'm going to need to do is, because I did. That's where I did the last increase on the front, and then the rest are all just increases in the sleeves. I'm probably going to have to tink back, otherwise that raglan line's not going to be there properly. Like, I didn't care when that was just going to be directly under my armpit, but if I'm bringing in more length, I'm going to need to go back to there, and then do increases on both sides of the raglan to get the extra stitches in here as well. Because like, I was like, oh, this is oversized for a tee, but I'm not making a tee. I'm making a oversized top. So using this is actually probably not a bad thing to do. I should have done this much sooner. Oh. Existential math is correct. Let's have a look here. Bianca says, maybe go back to the end of the lace section and do more increases. Yeah. I don't. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe we could do that. Actually, just go straight in and do an extra increase row in the lace section, and that will actually really bulk it out there. That's actually not a bad idea, Bianca. I mean, I don't want to pull back that much work, but at the same time, that would actually, like, the lace sections, when you do an increase in a lace section, it really increases out your stitches, and that'll give us a lot more. I'm just trying to find. Yeah, I think that might be what I'm going to do. Come in and do an extra row of lace increase, and then come in and start mathing out the mathing. Oh, that's not what you mean? I'm confused. So you said pull back to the lace. Oh, you just mean do increases on the sleeves. Okay, all right. Yeah, because I'm looking at this now and I'm realizing, like, I mean, even when I sort of pull it, this is still not wide enough to be, like, I don't think you can, hang on, I'm just going to show you on one side. But even, like, pulled, it's still not as wide as the t-shirt. Like, it's only a couple of stitches. So I'm thinking maybe even, you know what? Yeah, just the extra increases that I would do here that I skipped, that would widen that out. That would be enough. All right. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. But like, you'd only work, like, you only have to do the setups for the bigger sizes. Like, all the sizes are the same in the lace section, right? Let me just double check. I could be wrong. Yeah, because the yoke sizes, they're all the same size. And then it's not until you come in to start the actual raglan that, so they're all the same size to here. And then it's, oh, I've just clicked something. Oh, sorry, mouse. So all of them are the same size up to this point. And they're obviously different yarns, different needles will change that as well. They're all the same size up to there. And then you do your increasing and what have you. So, yes. I think I just need to I need to pull back this section here and just keep going like I'm making size 8 instead of size 6. Size 8 will give me an extra 4 centimeters, an extra 2 centimeters automatically here, but without any extra increases. So, yeah. What do extra increases in the body of the sleeve in addition? So you mean like some extra increases through the middle of it somewhere? I'll have to do some invisibly increases. Yes. But yes, I now know that I have to, like, basically I absolutely need to pull it back to at least here, probably more likely here, because I want to do the increases as close to this lace work as possible so it looks like it's supposed to be there if they're visible. Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, I'm not happy about this. But at the same time, it makes total sense. So yeah, so I'll probably feed in some smaller needles around here and then tink back another couple of rows, like tink back at least another row or two, so that it's all even. I think that's what I'm going to do. Oh, I think that once it's all done, it's going to look lovely, Sarah, but I do want it to fit properly. Otherwise, I'm not going to wear it. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm like pulling at it and just, just naffing around with it, I'm not going to wear it if it doesn't fit. So I want to make it so that the sleeves are comfy, that it's not too billowy. I'm really happy with where the neckline's sitting and all this sort of, so all of this, I'm not changing any of that. I'm super happy. Super happy. And Kelly is absolutely right. I love the ranunculus, but that body to sleeve ratio is totally out. And I agree with you. And it is designed to be like, they want it to be like a 6 inches of positive ease in the body, but they don't have 6 inches of positive ease in the sleeves. So getting the body to fit in a way that's good, but also making the sleeves that fit, it's nearly like it's two different patterns. You're not happy, but this is your third one. You want the lovely in all the areas. I agree. Yeah, and if you look at the pictures of the long sleeve ones, the sleeves are really narrow. They really are. So the bodies, the boxy bodies are huge, right? And that's easy enough to increase. There's no issues there. Another couple of increases and I'm out to as big as my favorite comfy stretchy tee, right? Sleeves I'm way off on. So yeah, I think it's just going to be a case of like grab a smaller needle on a long cable. Do I have one handy? What are you? I mean, you're a 4mm. Oh no, that's too short a cable. But yeah, just grab something on a long cable, pick up all the stitches, and then as I'm transferring it back to this, tink it out. That's coming loose. Tighten that up. But yeah, I think that's the plan. What do you guys think? Sarah says, I'm not experienced enough to offer any advice, but I'm here in the cheering section. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that. Because we all need cheering, like, luckily for me, this was all just knitting, right? Like, there was no lace work. There was a bit of, increasing at markers, which was really easy to do. They're not hard increases. So there's no like, oh my gosh, sort of like stuff. It's just like, oh, I'll have to re-knit that. And this is soft and beautiful and lovely to knit. I got no issues with that. And as Leanne said, I'd rather get this right. I absolutely would rather get this right. So I was already a bit like, oh man, I used the wrong increase here on the lace, but I'm not actually going to care too much about that. I don't block this lace out wide. I'm actually not a big fan of the lace showing through, so I won't be blocking the lace wide, so that's fine. And I don't need to block it wide. It sits beautifully. I don't need the extra space, so I don't need to block it hard to open the lace out to give me some extra centimeters. I don't need that. So that's good. I need this. I need more sleeves. Hang on a second. I've made a top, but it's interesting to listen to you guys workshopping the fix. Yeah. Well, and like, because all patterns are different and all bodies are different. Do you know what I mean? Hang on a second. Oh, that's clicking there. It's going to do nothing. Let me click here. Kelly says, to make Deb's top, I overlaid the top of the t-shirt and placed the stitch markers to divide the sleeves and body just after the lace, and then I ignored the stitch counts after that. It worked really nice. Okay, so You overlaid the top. You overlaid the top over the t-shirt like this. Come back here, comment. I'm in the middle of reading you and understanding you. Leave me alone. I'm a bit slow today, okay, comment? And then place the stitch markers to divide the sleeves and the body just after, so just after the lace here. Like, I just want to clarify, I consider this stuff here lace. Are you guys considering that lace, or are you talking about up here under the actual yarn overs? Like, let me know if I'm like, I'm pointing at this as lace and you guys are talking about this as lace. So, yeah. Oh, you've never made a top before. Okay. But yeah, because this is the thing, right? Like, I've got particular body issues. Like I've got my, like for my size, I have a narrow torso and a narrower back, right? So, and because as humans, we're not circles, we're more oblongs with like extra, you know, we're funny shapes. So just adding all the increases so they balance front and back may not be the perfect fit for you. So I don't want the back too bulky. My jumper that I made, that was my Hohi Locatelli, the back is really like, it's got too much fabric at the top and then not enough at the bottom. And so I don't wear it. I made it and I don't wear it because it's not comfortable. Like, I'd need to lose like a pile of weight so that it just hangs. There's no fittingness for it to actually even work. I'm like this close to just pulling it out. And just getting back up to the neckline and the sleeves and making the adjustments I need to make to get it right. So this is one of the things. Luckily, I love working with this cotton. That's all I can say. So yeah. Let me look here. Yes, the fancy stitches. Yes. I agree with you about what is lace. Okay, good. Before the plain stocking stitch. Oh, good. Pull it out. Yes, I will pull it out. Absolutely. I'm working on my first sweater. I made a headband years ago. Hey, Susan, it's great to see you in the chat. Yeah, so this is my third ranunculus, technically, but they're all so different. Like, so I made one in a 4-ply cotton, which was quite fitted. And I've also made one in a sport weight silk, which is so open and airy. It's like just a beautiful ethereal layer, which I have to pull out because I've pulled a thread badly and I can't fix it. It's just not playing nicely. So I'm hoping I can actually just pull that one up to where the pulled thread is, fix that thread or cut that bit out and then re-knit it. Because I'm in love with how the sleeves and everything fit on that one. So yeah. Yes, at least it's not lace weight silk. Oh, absolutely. It is a lovely chonky worsted 4-ply, not 4-ply, what am I saying? DK to worsted weight chainette cotton. That's knitting up beautifully with a 6mm needle. Like, loving how the stitches are coming out in it. This is the Bendigo Solstice. Let me see if I've got a whole wall here. Does it have a yarn label? No, it does not. Handy. So yeah. So this is the Solstice. I just got some hay on my yarn. I don't live on a farm. I don't know how I end up with hay, but okay. But yeah, it's just lovely. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. My goal today will be to get it back on the needles, but back up here, tinker back. And then tonight when I'm with Bianca, we'll sit down and we'll do some math redos for what I need to do to get this right. But I think the first things first is it absolutely has to come all the way back because we need to get more stitches into the sleeves at the top. Well, if you want to come and see that, we'll be at IKEA tonight from 6 p.m. because it is the first Thursday of the month. So we'll be at IKEA Logan in Queensland, Australia. So if you are handy, then you should pop in and have some meatballs or something, or a coffee, whatever, a cake. Get off there. All right, so let's have a look here. It's beautiful. It is. I cannot wait to wear it, honestly. I love the color. I love how it feels, and I cannot wait to wear it. It is the depths of summer here, so it's a bit hot to be wearing a long sleeve top, but by the time I actually get it finished, it should have It should have cooled down by then, shouldn't it? Please tell me it's cooling down soon. But yeah, so that's where that's at. Kelly says I sent you a photo of what I did. Thank you. I will check that. It really is very pretty. It is. It is. It would be a shame to never. Oh, I don't want to never wear it. I want something that I will just wear, and bring that T-shirt too. Okay. Yep. So don't change into it, is what you're saying, because that's what I was going to do, because it's my favorite. I wish I could join you ladies. I wish you could too, even just like once in a blue moon, but I know you're a long way away. I do. I've got this, and you guys are super supportive and just totally make, like, you know, I've got the YouTube channel, right? But I don't have all the knowledge. We all share the knowledge. So, stupid night eyes say no. Yeah. Oh, Susan's in Melbourne. Oh, I'm so sorry. We've actually got a few people down in Melbourne now. Maybe we could organise you guys to meet up somewhere. I think that would be a good idea. Like do a Sydney meetup and a Melbourne meetup. I can't come, but I think you guys could all meet up with each other. I think that's amazing. IKEA is dangerous. Too much you might need. Well, because I go so often, I am actually very good at leaving IKEA with nothing. Now tonight I'll be leaving with a full tummy and some extra shelves for my unit. That's it. Nope. It's very pink. It is very pink. It's such a good pink though. I really like it. I really like it. Yeah, I think what we might if one of the mods can throw in a link to the Discord, what we'll do is over on Discord, and I'll add it into the Facebook page as well, or Facebook group. We have Viberific Fun Zone on Discord and on Facebook. And what we will do is we'll try and pick a date, because in Brisbane we meet on the first and third Thursdays, as well as the last Saturday of the month, and we all hang out. And so different people can make it to different days. But it'd be really good if the Melbourneites or you know, the people in the other cities, because I also know there's like Russell's from Florida. Can't see Russell making any of those. But yeah, oh, you need to buy some resealable bags for yarn. Yeah, I love their big ones. I'm out of the big ones. Maybe I should get a packet of those too. Frances says that she's going to Melbourne in a couple of weeks. It will make your cheeks look even more blushed. Yes, that's not a bad thing. I quite often look too pale, so a bit of colour is a good thing for me. Yeah, I think regional catch-ups. I think absolutely. Susan's Nebraska. Well, we've got. Oh no, that's not Nebraska. I was just thinking we've got a couple of people over in Canada that sometimes join the chat, but both of them are quite far from each other in Canada. And then you're probably just as far again in Nebraska. But we can try and work something out, honestly. I think organising for crafters to get together is really just like, we love to get together, right? Oh, I'm confused. Oh, you're from Nebraska, but you live in Melbourne. Okay. All right. I'm getting it. Okay. Took me a second. It's fine. A bit of a hike. But I just got an offer for $9.50 return to Australia. Qantas are having a massive sale in Australia. I just spotted return airfares to Dallas, because I've got to turn it off, but I have a price. I get emails telling me when there's a sale. And so last time I went to Dallas, it was 3,500 Australian return. And on the exact same flight, so the Brisbane to Sydney direct to Dallas, it's going to be 1,600 Australian dollars return. So it's the cost of one way, like a couple of years ago. So yeah, I'm just like, oh man. So yeah, keep an eye on the sales. You never know what you'll get. Oh, you love living here? That is so awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, so what we'll do is we'll try and set up like, we'll get a local person to run each sort of gathering so that we can find a sort of a centralish spot for each, for Sydney and Melbourne, and try and do like group photos or something. That would be fun. Even if it's just like 2 of you who turn up. That's 2 people who normally only get to see each other in a live chat that get to speak to each other in real. But who wants to go to the US? Well, look, you know, I would like to. There's events I want to go to. I don't want to go on a holiday. But I do want to go over for some work stuff, and some events and things like that. So you know. But yeah, so we'll get those and if somebody can remind me to, you know, jump into each of those and just be like, hey, are we going to organize these things? And then we can set up a separate thread for each location and try and, it'd be better if it was on Facebook or on Discord, but I know some of you don't Discord, and I know some of you don't Facebook, so that makes it fun. All right, my friends, I'm going to run away. It is lunchtime. I'm hungry. My brain's like, well, you're going to have to go and pick up all these stitches now. But yeah, I will catch you all next week. Same time, same place, bat stations, all that kind of thing, right here. Maybe my top will be in a better position of actually fitting me, like shock. And there'll be some extra shelves, definitely. So I hope you all have a fantastic week, and I'll catch you all later. Bye now.